Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Sphero Star Wars, the Force Awakens BB-8. Alright you guys, so I got my BB-8 off of bedbathandbeyond.com for $149.99. Free shipping. I received it in about a week, and so far it seems to be a pretty fun toy that does have a few flaws which we will explore in just a moment. But first let's go ahead and take a look at this really nice box. It's a very nicely done box, image of BB-8 on there, Sphero app enabled Droid, pretty nice information. Just basically gives you a rundown of how the item works, how you charge it. Back of it, a little more information there about BB-8, and a little bit more details there as far as how this thing operates. The box is very nice, very matte finish, feels very nice. And this here is what's inside. You get your Sphero BB-8, you get a charger station, and then you get a cable that you connect to a computer. And to charge it, basically you take your docking station, which is pretty simplistic. I mean, it looks pretty, but it doesn't seem like anything too spectacular. The plastic, feels a little bit on the cheap side, I would say. But basically, you just plug in, and then this end of the USB goes into your computer. Now, Sphero says that it is supposed to run for up to 1 hour on a full charge, which it takes 5 hours to charge it, according to Sphero's website. And it does take that long, because I've had it plugged in for a really long time in order for it to get to that. It was at least 5 hours. But I don't know that it runs for a full hour on, on full optimum power. It just seems like it gets a little bit sluggish. I mean, it does work for up to an hour. It just doesn't work optimally, I would say. And as you can see, it does balance by itself. You can kind of just move it around, and, it does stay put, like if you wanted to have it on a shelf without any support. But I kind of like having it just there in the base, just for my peace of mind that it isn't going to roll off the shelf or anything. From an aesthetic standpoint, this actually does look very, very nice. It actually has a good bit of heft to it. I would say it's probably weighs at least a pound. And it just looks really good. I mean, it isn't 100% in scale with the BB-8 from the film, but I would say it's close enough. It certainly doesn't sacrifice the overall aesthetic. I mean, it looks like BB-8 from what we've seen. Coloration on it is quite nice. Nice bright white, shade of orange is very nice. Some grays, some silvers, some blacks. It seems like there is a little bit of a film over the eye. I don't know if that's because of use, or, I mean, it kind of seems like they put something on the eye for maybe protection against scratching. I'm not really sure, but it certainly feels like there's something there. You get a couple of antennas here on top of the head, which you can remove the head. It's held in by a magnet. Give you a closer look at its head. Underneath, it has a couple of wheels and a magnet inside, which kind of keep it on top of the rest of the body. And these wheels are basically what spin and keep it, moving around. It does have a gyroscope that kind of keeps the head, balanced on top. Overall, it looks very, very nice. Though I will say that one issue that this has is that it does tend to collect a lot of dirt and debris in here. So basically, you're going to want to have a 100% clean and polished floor before you use it, though that is easier said than done, because there's dirt everywhere. Even after you clean your house, there's dirt outside, so it's going to get dirt in here, and unfortunately it does hinder the performance because it makes the head a little bit more sluggish. It tends to get stuck a little bit, doesn't spin as easily, doesn't spin in the correct direction. So that is something that I hope Sphero looks at and hopefully improves upon for the next generation of these types of robots. So the app is free from the App Store. You simply download it, and as far as I know, it works on many different smartphones. And we'll go ahead and get that set up. Lower the volume just a bit. As you can see, BB-8 is lighting up already, so that means that the app is reading the droid. You do have to have it kind of close in order for it to get a full read on BB-8 and get it locked in. Basically what you can do here, and it has some very nice background music, is there's a few things you can do. You can drive BB-8. You can have it send a holographic message, or you can send it on patrol, which basically lets it do its own thing. There's also a voice command setting, but it doesn't work very well. I haven't been able to get it to work very well at all, but I'll just show it to you what it looks like. It's supposed to be able to recognize your voice when you call its name, but it's not working all that great, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Basically, drive is self-explanatory. If you want to drive BB-8, you just bring it here to the screen. You'll see that you can move BB-8 and the head moves around with it. That's so that you can angle BB-8 in the direction you want it to go. And then you have a joystick right here which controls the actual movement of BB-8. So if you wanted it to control the body in any direction you want to go forward, backward, whatever, this is what you would use here. But this is specifically so that you can aim the head and aim the direction of the droid. You can see the little blue light that's spinning around in its body. Next item is message. Basically what you do is you go here, and we tried playing around with this. If you do like an X-Wing thing, you can see BB-8 there projecting a hologram.
T-70 X-Wing fighter is the signature combat craft of the Resistance forces in their fight against the First Order.
And it doesn't work all that well. Instead of having the hologram like out here somewhere, it's kind of like in front of BB-8. So certainly something they can work on. You can also film yourself and have BB-8 projecting your recording, but again, it doesn't work all that well. And then the final item here is patrol, and that's basically what it says there. It's going to send BB-8 out on patrol. Basically, you can just hit play, and BB-8 will go around, explore its surroundings, get familiar with your home. And it does seem like it avoids crashing into things for the most part, but it is not perfect. It still crashes into things quite a bit. You can control the acceleration on it. You can control how far it's going to go. And you can even do some pretty interesting things here with BB-8 as far as like monitoring its internal temperature and seeing how far it has traveled, which is pretty cool if you're into tracking that sort of information about your BB-8 droid. Alright, so let's go ahead and take BB-8 for a test drive, shall we? So BB-8's very fluid on a hardwood floor, and it takes a little bit of work to get the hang of. Whoop, she spun out, which kind of just causes it to spin like that for a while. So as you can see, it works pretty well on carpet. If you take it on the wood floor, it's a little bit more slippery, but by and large, it works pretty well on carpet. It doesn't spin all over the place. You can maneuver it fairly easily. definitely a bit of a learning curve, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it is a lot of fun. Though I think I kind of like it more on the slippery surface, because even though it's easier to drive on carpet, it's just not as fast, and you know, it takes a little longer to correct your actions. Kind of do its thing, get familiar with its surroundings. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Sphero Star Wars, the Force Awakens BB-8. Overall, I must say that it is a pretty fun and neat little robotic toy. It is far from perfect. On the positive side, it looks really, really good. Looks a lot like BB-8 from the film. It is very fun, has film-accurate sounds that come only from the app. It doesn't actually make the sounds. It lights up, which doesn't specifically seem to be film accurate, but again, we haven't seen the film yet, so who knows. The docking station is quite nice, it looks nice, and being able to plug it into your computer to charge it is quite convenient. I think the functionality of the app itself is pretty good. Some of the things like the voice command and having it project a hologram through the app don't work all that well, so those things certainly need to be looked at. But things like controlling it manually or having it go on patrol are quite a bit of fun. But again, it still is not a perfect product. The fact that it does get stuff clogged up underneath the head and you have to clean it every now and then is a pretty significant issue in my opinion. That's an engineering issue. I don't really know if there's a way for them to fix that, but it does hinder the performance of BB-8 and affects its functionality. So that is certainly a drawback. You want to make sure your floors are perfectly spick and span before using BB-8. You're probably not going to want to use it outdoors. And the 5-hour charge time I find to be a little bit excessive. The fact that they say it runs for 60 minutes when it actually doesn't seem to run optimally for that long is also a bit of a drawback. All in all, I would say it is a pretty good product. Good effort on Sphero's part on doing something new and incorporating the Star Wars brand. But there are still some ways to go before it is a perfected item. For $150, I think it is a little bit steep. So I do recommend it to you if you are a huge Star Wars fan and if you're a fan of Sphero and robotic radio control type vehicles. It is a lot of fun. I do enjoy it, having it quite a bit. It is fun even just to look at and turn on just so it can move its head around. That stuff is cool. But the actual functionality has a little bit of ways to go before this is something I can recommend to you with 100% complete confidence. Alright my friends, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think of BB-8 and whether or not you plan on getting one for yourself. I'd like to send a special thanks to my husband for purchasing this for me as a gift, which is very, very awesome and sweet of him. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.